This is a 2008 Harley-Davidson Road Glide, and I'm going to show you how to adjust the air shocks on this bike, the rear shocks. But before I do that, let's take a look at the air pump I'm going to use. This is a Harley-Davidson air pump. The part number is 54630-03A. The way that this pump works is you grab the handle like so. That's how you pump air into the system. The gauge here, you can tell how much pressure is in the air system. It's got a swivel hose to make it more convenient to connect this to the air valve. If you go over the amount of pressure that you want, you can use a relief valve on the bottom here. Just press it in and you can just adjust the air pressure in the system, let air out, and if you need to add more, you can just pump more air in. This pump has a built-in gauge that goes from 0 to 60 psi. So that makes it convenient, so you don't need to carry around a separate gauge to tell how much pressure is in your rear suspension. The Harley pump is very small and it's only 8 inches long, which makes it great for being able to just throw it in your saddlebags and go. It doesn't take up that much room. Another good point about it being small is it doesn't displace a lot of air per pump, and that's good because you're less likely to damage the rear suspension air system. For example, if you went to a gas station and tried to use the air pump used for putting air in tires, you'd probably blow a seal in your rear suspension because it would just force too much air into the system too fast, and you would exceed the the maximum PSI that the system can handle. Just to give you an example of the size of the pump, that's another hand pump used for a bicycle. This is supposed to be small. So you can see just how much smaller the Harley pump is. This was $10 at Walmart, and the pump here for the Harley bike was $49.95. I think that's steep for the Harley pump, but it is a much higher quality pump than this other one. Okay, I'll show you how to add air to your rear suspension system or let air out. This is the back end of a 2008 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. And the air valve is located on the left side of the bike, just inside of the rear saddlebag. It's where my finger's pointing. It's easier just to remove this rear saddlebag, so let's do that first before we attach the pump. Okay, to get the left rear saddlebag off, we need to open up the saddlebag. Open the lid, and on the inside here you have these clips. Just turn them counterclockwise and it will release. And then there's one on both sides. And I'm trying to hold the camera and catch this bag from falling before it. Anyway, you just you rotate them counterclockwise until they release, and then you can just lift this off. Okay, with the saddlebag off, you can more clearly see the air valve here. It's got a cap on it, so you need to remove the cap. Then take the hose, flexible hose on the pump, and attach it to the air valve. Just screw it on, hand tighten it. Now you can see the air gauge on the pump is registering about 14 psi. The pressure in the rear suspension right now is 14 psi, and given the weight of the rider for this motorcycle, I want the air pressure to be between 5 psi and 15 psi. So I'm going to adjust it to 10 psi. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure in, take it up to around 16. And I'm going to use the release valve to drop the pressure down to 10. So now you can see the rear suspension on this bike has 10 psi. Once you got your pressure set for the rear suspension, go ahead and remove this flexible hose. And reinstall your air valve cap. And then reinstall your left saddlebag, and that's pretty much all there is to it. There's a few things I should mention before ending this video. And that's the maximum pressure you want to put in these air suspension systems. According to the 2008 manual for the FLHR/C, the FLHT/C/U, and the FLTR, the maximum air pressure should be 35 psi, so you don't want to exceed that 35 psi or you could damage the system. And for the FLHX, the maximum psi is 50 psi. And that's according to the 2008 Touring manual, Harley-Davidson Touring manual. Another thing I should mention is the amount of the pressure you want in your air system is dependent upon your load. So it's dependent on the weight of the rider, and if you're carrying a passenger, it's dependent on the rider's weight and the passenger's weight. And if you have any luggage, it's also dependent on those three things: riders and passenger and luggage. For this particular model, just to give you an example, you can run this air suspension system at 0 psi. If you're 150 pounds or below, Harley actually recommends that you put 0 psi just for for the rider if he's 150 pounds or less. If you're between 150 and 200 pounds, Harley recommends 0 to 10 psi, and if you're 200 to 250 pounds, Harley recommends between 5 and 15 psi for this 2008 Road Glide. And then if you get the manual, there's a couple of charts in there that'll show you the rider, passenger, and cargo weight, and how much psi should be in the suspension system. If you put too much weight on the bike and you don't have the correct psi in the system, you risk bottoming out, and that's not a good thing for the bike, and it's not a comfortable way to ride. So it's important that you put the correct psi in in the rear suspension system. I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.